My friends, welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we are diving into the Laken Riley story, a 22-year-old student tragically murdered while jogging near the University of Georgia intramural fields. Jose Ibarra has been charged with her murder, accused of brutally beating her with an unidentified object causing blunt force trauma to her head and disfiguring her skull. We're going to dive into this story and what we know at this time because it truly is a tragic story. And the whole purpose of doing this video is because this story needs to be told. This is a crazy world we live in, but how deep and how ugly does it get? Staying on top of these stories will help us be a little more aware of what's going on around us. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. The sun cast long shadows across the University of Georgia's Athens campus as students hurried to their classes, unaware of the darkness that had befallen them. Laken Riley, a promising 22-year-old nursing student from Augusta University, had met a brutal fate. Her life was cut short, and the details of her demise painted a chilling picture of violence and tragedy. Riley was a senior nursing student enrolled at Augusta University College of Nursing at Athens who grew up in Woodstock, Georgia. Before she earned her undergraduate degree at University of Georgia in 2023, she graduated from River Ridge High School in 2020. Riley was a member of her high school's cross-country and track teams and was described as an outstanding scholar athlete by Cherokee County School District Superintendent Brian Hightower. She was also a member of the Alpha Chi Omega sorority. She was definitely an outgoing person with so much future left. On that fateful Thursday, Laken had set out for a jog on the familiar trails near Lake Herrick. Little did she know that this routine activity would be her last. Jose Ibarra, a 26-year-old undocumented Venezuelan immigrant, would forever alter the course of her life. The news of Laken's murder sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community. The police investigation revealed a gruesome scene, a disfigured skull, evidence of a merciless beating that had ended her young life. Authorities, they pointed fingers at Ibarra, accusing him of wielding a mysterious object as the murder weapon. The motives behind the heinous act remained elusive. We don't really know so much more. Police asserted that Ibarra had acted alone, dragging Laken's lifeless body to a secluded area on the University of Georgia campus in an attempt to conceal the crime. The arrest affidavit detailed the horrifying charges against Ibarra, accusing him not only of murder, but also of preventing Laken from making a 911 call during the attack. Video footage from campus security and advanced technology did play crucial roles in tracking down the alleged perpetrator. Ibarra, a resident of Athens, was taken into custody, leaving a grieving community struggling to make sense of the senseless act. Now, Ibarra, he was living in New York City, got into trouble multiple times, and then he moves to Athens to live with his brother, who has since been arrested for using a fake green card. And so, as the legal proceedings unfolded, details about Ibarra's immigration status added another layer of complexity to the tragedy. Having entered the U.S. illegally In September of 2022, he had been released from a detention center due to overcrowding. There were multiple times that he should have been in jail. Instead, he was walking the streets living his happy life. He was living like he had no problems in this world, but yet he was a stranger among us, and he did the unthinkable, things that should never occur. Now, Laken's journey from the University of Georgia to Augusta University's College of Nursing was abruptly halted. Her dreams and aspirations, once filled with the promise of a bright future, were extinguished in the most horrific manner. The University of Georgia, which mourned its first homicide in 41 years, struggled to comprehend the brutality that had unfolded within its hallowed grounds. Laken's family, devastated by the loss of their beloved daughter and sister, poured their grief into heartfelt tributes. Her sister, Lauren Phillips, took to Instagram to honor Laken's memory, describing her as the best sister and built-in best friend. The pain echoed through each word, a stark reminder of a life taken way too soon. And that's why it's important that we bring all eyeballs to this story, because her life could have possibly been prevented from being taken. But we know that this is not the first time these type of things have happened, okay? Now, the University of Georgia Police Chief Jeffrey Clark addressed the media, emphasizing that the evidence pointed to Ibarra acting alone and without any prior connection to Laken. The investigation left no stone unturned, with officers combing through Ibarra's apartment and surrounding areas for any additional clues. Amidst the mourning, the tragedy became entwined with the broader political landscape. And of course, others will weigh in. And so calls for the death penalty echoed from some quarters, with politicians like Marjorie Taylor Greene advocating for the most severe punishment. Others, they seized the opportunity to advance their agendas, linking the incident to broader immigration issues and border security debates. However, statistics challenge these narratives, as studies indicated that undocumented individuals were statistically less likely to commit crimes. The political storm surrounding Ibarra's immigration status added a layer of tension to an already heartbreaking story. And that's why it's key that we understand that tragedy continues to strike young kids just like this one for the senseless crimes that happen to them. And so it's deeper than the border, if you ask me. It's crime and fighting crime. But we know as the legal process unfolded that the University of Georgia community grappled with grief and fear. University of Georgia, they responded by canceling classes and urging students to travel in groups, emphasizing the need for heightened awareness. The loss of Laken Riley sent ripples far beyond the campus, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the potential for darkness to intrude even in the most seemingly secure spaces like this school. And the tragedy, it drew parallels with other incidents, such as the kidnapping and murder of Eliza Fletcher, a Tennessee kindergarten teacher. And the chilling similarities underscored the vulnerability that individuals, especially women, face during routine activities like jogging. You see, Eliza, her too, she went out on the University of Memphis early morning hours, about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., somewhere around that time, going for a jog, a regular routine that she did when this man here, Mr. Henderson, decided to do the unthinkable, and he kidnaps her and then he shoots her tragically. And he was not an undocumented immigrant, which is why I say it's deeper than the borders. It's more about fighting the crime that continues to happen in this crazy world that we live in. And so the aftermath of Laken's murder prompted a collective reflection on safety measures and the unpredictable nature of violence that could strike at any time. As the legal proceedings continued, the University of Georgia community sought solace in remembering Laken Riley as more than a victim. She was a vibrant, ambitious young woman whose life was tragically cut short. Her legacy would endure through the memories shared by family, friends, and a community left grappling with the aftermath of an inexplicable act of violence on their doorstep. And it's stories like this as to why we need to keep this at the forefront, because she did not deserve this. And at the end of the day, we know that this can happen at any minute. I'm always worried about my wife being out there, but at the same time, we know that we cannot live in fear. But we have to be alert of what could go wrong in this crazy world that we live in. Because did she know about Eliza Fletcher's story? Maybe that would have said, I don't want to jog alone, let me find a partner. But at the same time, this guy was actually stalking her. Women they are vulnerable to an extent, and so we have to be careful. She should not have to stop her routine. What we need to be more alert of is like, hey, let's get more police out there in the street. Let's get more police covering the square footage. I'm not going to get into the debate of politics. I hate politics. I don't follow. I don't care about any of that stuff. Okay? I do know that this is a crime driven world for whatever reason. Was this a crime of passion? Was it a crime of opportunity? There's so much more. But this man, he was not a good guy. He had been in trouble multiple times with the law. He had gotten a ticket for driving his motor vehicle with a child who did not have a helmet on. He was in trouble for that. He was in trouble for multiple different reasons. And here he was on the streets of New York enjoying his life. And then he gets in trouble there. And you can see all the pictures as I shared. He gets in trouble there. Then he goes and he moves with his brother in Athens, Georgia. My friends, please be alert. Know that at any minute something bad can happen, and we have to be as careful as we can as we're trying to live a life that we're not living in fear all the time, but we do have to be alert. Unfortunately, I truly believe we have to be alert because this is a crazy world that we live in. My friends, that is the story that we know of Laken Riley at this time, and there is more to come. But at the same time, please, if you are a person of prayer, please pray for the family to find justice and find a way to keep her name alive. Because Laken Riley had a voice, and her voice was taken away way too young. This girl had a lot of great things ahead of her. And now this selfish guy who didn't care for other people. I'm Manny Rodriguez, and now you have learned the story of Laken Riley, taken from this world way too soon. Until next time, my friends, be alert, be aware, be careful. It is a crazy world we live in. Peace.